Hey, it's Jennifer with Playmaker Coaching and Consulting. And today we're talking about, do you know the truth of your own situation? I was just at a conference this weekend. We were talking about, one of the things that's working for me professionally, and we all were going around and sharing our nuggets. And I said, knowing the state of my business is one of the most helpful things to me, that I know what kind of activity I need to do to be successful, and I know how my activity is working compared to what it should be. So I know where to focus. So do you know the truth of your own situation? Are you tracking your numbers and your activity? Because in whatever kind of business you're in, it's important that we still have those metrics. And, for most of us that are referral based businesses, that we are actually showing up and having conversations, talking with other people about our business on a regular basis, whatever that volume and activity looks like for you. And then understanding what that data is telling us so that we can make informed decisions. So it's the end of the quarter. As you know, every quarter I go public with what my goals were for the year and how I'm doing towards that, so we can continue to make adjustments, prioritize, and start to set the stage for the next year at this point as well, because it's kind of crazy that it's almost November and then it is full on planning time. So I'm really getting excited about some new things that we're going to bring to season fourth year with Playmaker Coaching and Consulting. But there's still work that needs to be done today and what those priorities are. So let me run through where we're at and some of the things that are priorities for me. And maybe that will provide some ideas and nuggets for you, or a way to structure it, to think about taking that time out for your business to reflect on what's working and what's not working, at least on a quarterly basis, to make some of those decisions. And then that more deep dive annual planning that I'm sure most of you will be doing in the next month or two. So as you know, I work through a 22 for 22 list based off my word of the year and inspired by Gretchen Rubin. So my word for this year has been light. How can I make things light work for you and your marketing and your business? And how can I bring more light into the world, make more light around me as well? So with that, and each bucket, using my core values, I've come up with my list of my 22 for 22. Overall, I would say feeling pretty good, but a little disappointed because some things are not where I want them to be. And it has been a little bit of a retooling year of stripping things apart as part of my growth to go forward. And I was just talking with a coach the other day, and I had to remind myself how sometimes that path to growth is not just that exponential or slow upward trajectory. And sometimes you have to go plateau to plateau. I think it was Mark Cool that said that one time, and it really stuck with me. And that's a little bit where I'm at with entering year 4, is restructuring some things, putting some investments in some other areas. So while it hasn't went the upward trajectory that I would have liked, I know what I'm doing right now will continue to help to get me to that next level, to level up. So the first area was curiosity and fun in terms of my values. So I developed a 22 item summer bucket list. So some of these are personal too, because I think personal and professional work together. There's so much about what drives us as a business owner. So we did that, did some fun things this summer that I'm happy with, that we made some progress in and made priorities to make sure that we enjoy those moments, especially when in Wisconsin, when it snowed yesterday, which is ridiculous. Number 2, 22 ways to improve our home space. We've done a few things. I do not think we've done 22. So there's definitely some more things I'd like to get done, especially kind of as we get into the holidays, to enjoy the space that we're in, especially since I work from home every day. A list of 22 light things and 22 heavy things. I have my list. Went through and kind of revisited those things that I feel light and feel heavy, and how have I been doing incorporating that? Certainly things I'd like to do more of, like sitting in the sunshine, bringing that light and sunshine when we get it into my day. Going back and reading testimonials that remind me of why I'm doing what I'm doing, and things on the heavy list that I'm still working on, like technology challenges. How do I spend less time paying bills because I work on the computer all day long? Not what I want to do on my weekends, to sit down and sit in front of the computer and take care of that as well. So it's ongoing, but have definitely kept that as a priority and continue to revisit it throughout the year. And where am I spending my time? Is it the things that are light, that bring me joy, that are the best use of my time? Am I spending too much time in those heavy things? and how can I outsource those? So I'm excited, new team members that I brought on board, continuing to work on moving some of those pieces so I can add the most value as possible to my clients and show up and use my talents that God's given me in the best ways possible. 22 minutes of light per day. I haven't really particularly tracked that, but definitely try to get light whenever I can. I need that sunshine, that vitamin D. Incorporating the calendar of Catalyst. This was something from Gretchen Rubin, like March 4th, it's a date of March 4th or 2/22/22, the perfect Tuesday. Having some fun with just some random days as a questioner. I'm not a huge New Year's resolution person, but love these kind of fun ways that we can do something throughout our year to incorporate those in. Two new things, definitely have done a lot with dance classes, doing a rage room, a dolphin experience, so many different things. So I'm a triathlon, stretch myself in new ways. Thinking about my one for possibly doing this kind of like Tough Mudder, but in the snow in January because it's on my birthday. So I'm interested, but I am also like, oh my God, I don't know if I can do that. So we'll see. Stay tuned on whether that's my one for next year or not. 4 valuable conversations in every networking event. So trying to make sure that I'm really purposeful and not just being there or zooming in and not paying attention, but how can I be intentional with those? And sometimes probably a little bit better than others. So I'm not consistent really where I want to be in that. So that's the curiosity and fun bucket, the fulfillment bucket. So number 10 was to sharpen my expertise by listening to podcasts, reading the books that I'm part of in book clubs that stretch me to read things maybe I wouldn't even come across either myself. So some good things going there. I'd love to spend more time there. I love to be the curator of always thinking about new possibilities and new ideas. And that's one of the things I have to do more in terms of those delegation so that I can continue to expand my expertise and bring more ideas to those around me. Number 11, build my team. If you know me, this has been a little bit of a challenge over the last few years. I'm really excited at the new firm that I brought on. Thank you, Kristen Burke, for the recommendation of being able to have more of a partner in my business and some greater execution expertise so that I can keep working on helping to be front and center with my clients and where do we keep, adding the most value. Let's see. So that's a work in progress, but I'm really excited about where we're at finally at this point in this year because I know we can't do it alone, right? Our team is so critical. Number 12, build my platform. We launched this year the Champions Club brand boot camp. Really excited about that. We've had, I think, about 8 participants in that so far. And it's been really a lot of fun to help share their story, help them get off to more of a fast start and more clarity early on in the business. And because we decided we were going to do that more than once, so we were going to make that into a spring and fall program. We have not launched our intensive program, but what we have coming in place of that is a brand new accelerator that's coming in 2022. So for those that are like, hey, I just want to really get this done and get it off my plate. And, I know that while I love doing it little by little over each month, like sometimes we just need that time to just dig in and then be able to move on to other things. I'm really excited to get that off the ground. So be hearing more about that as we're putting all the pieces together here. So continuing to build that, also working on a new laser coaching program for those of you that are like, hey, I just want some time with you, but I'm not sure, sometimes it's just in those moments, right? Somebody comes and says, hey, would you sponsor this? Or I want to do this event or a gift for my clients. And you're like, I just really need somebody to talk through it with, somebody who can help direct me, handhold me, provide some guidance, a sounding board. These laser coaching is going to be the perfect fit for you of just what you need, of whether you're just getting started, need that little bit of feedback, or, you're like, you want somebody on a regular basis that can work with you. So stay tuned for more details on those as well. Building my community. So part of that was expanding my reach. How can I help more people? So we wanted to bring on 31 new clients this year. And right now, I think I was just looking at the numbers. We're at 11. So not what I thought it would be. I was hoping, more people would be a part of the group program. So that's not quite where we were thinking it was going to be. So continuing to get asked for feedback. Want to hear from you guys of how can we help you even further. And then with the accelerator getting kind of postponed, that would have accounted for some of those as well. So overall, when I looked at where we're at this year compared to last year, about on pace. So I definitely, like I said, was hoping that we'd be a little bit further and could reach more people, but understand that it's maybe that plateau to plateau in a way as we equip ourselves and now have this team that we're building to be able to support even more people. As part of that, building my community, things through social media, creating more ongoing communication, more personalized reach outs to people, and made some good strides in those areas. Actually had several people have told me this year that they're like, wow, I really like your marketing. Your marketing's obviously working because I want to reach out to you and have a conversation. And that makes me feel really good, especially in the marketing space, that something is resonating and just showing up consistently, even when it's not perfect, is resonating with some people to say, hey, it's time to have a conversation and take action. Number 14, create space. No social media after 5. I did good when I committed to that for Lent. And then once it was done, it was kind of like, yeah, that's done. So something I can continue to come back to. I know it's not going to be an always thing, but certainly we could probably all use to detox sometimes from social media. Shut down my email. I was really intentional of that for a month of like, I'm only going to check it during the morning, at lunch, and at night. And then, now it's open all the time again. So something I need to bring back because I do know that then that takes us away from what are truly those high value things, the priorities for our days versus just responding right to what comes our way and what we do first. I just heard this from Pat Quinn, is what you do first matters. What's the first thing you do when you wake up? What's the first thing you do when you start your work day? What you do first works, and being more intentional. What I do first in my work day is something that I want to focus more on. Part of creating space was also eliminating 21 things, using my calendar, and 20 new things to grow. So I feel like I've done a fair amount in that space, feeling pretty good about it. But I know there are some things where doing and just responding and reacting are taking too much of my time versus having more space to think and to focus on what really matters. I'm sure some of you might be feeling that same way. The next bucket was family and friends, those relationships. So a couple's night away, we did get, while it was just camping for a night, it was still a night away. I'll take whatever we can get sometimes at this point still. 2 date nights, we've done those. Family visits, want to do 2, stretch to 6. We got back for spring break. And we'll be back at Thanksgiving. So we'll have at least the 2 in there. 2 friend trips. I did those, not as much as we're wanting. Our fall trip is it seems like fall is just not working as well. So we might have to switch those. I think we might have to switch it to like Memorial Day or something in the spring. Too many activities right after the start of the school year, it seems like now, to make a fall trip work, even though we loved it. So I have to retool that for next year. Provide for my family and that lifestyle and what we want to be able to accomplish, surpassing 2022. This is another area where I'm a little behind where I was last year at this point. While there's been some really great things happening these last few months, that does kind of sting a little bit. It's a little frustrating. But it's not all about that. And I have to remind myself that, of working with fewer people, but in a deeper way. And the new things that we're doing to be able to help people get those results during our conversations, not feel like they have as much on their list, and that's a process. So I'm still really encouraged of where we're going. I know it's definitely possible. And sometimes the timeline is not up to us to control as much as we want. Let's see. Number 20, add 2 things to my 21 list to do with Samantha before she turns 21 years old. And I'm like, I need to look at that actually. I haven't looked at it recently. I'm interested in ideas for those that you have kids. What are some fun, special things you do to create really long-standing memories and moments with them? Because I have items on here. I have 8. I have 8. And I think one of these, like the trip to American Girl store, like she probably doesn't even really care about anymore. So darn it. The rest I think are still relevant and everything, but love to get your ideas of what are some fun things, memorable things you do with your kids. So I can add some more things on there to make sure that we're not losing these years because gosh, she's already 11 and it goes so fast. Number 21, 2 in-person networking meetings per quarter. Been doing that. It's been great to be back live and in person with some of you and really be able to develop those relationships in a different way. And then so the next bucket is fitness. So in this realm, the dry triathlon, I did that this summer. Really happy with how that went. It was tougher than I expected in some ways, but really enjoyed it. Number 23, new fitness equipment. We got a new treadmill because the other one broke down and a bike that converts into elliptical. So I'm loving having that. It's so great to have options to keep it fresh and help me get up and go to the basement every morning as part of my morning ritual to start my mind and body in the right spot. To get down to 122 pounds and, give or take on the day, but been there, staying there, been eating more healthy, been happy with that. Teach a fitness class. I still have not done that. And, now that we're more back in person, I need to find an opportunity for that to use my group fitness coaching and to get out and share that with other people. Only 2 days during the year with less than 10,000 steps. I'm still on track for that. Get a doctor. I reached out to some of you for some recommendations, and it's been hard trying to find ones that have availability. And then I kind of got sidetracked and frustrated because I wasn't finding availability. So I still need to finish that before the end of the year. 21 days of no takeout. I guess I did that at the beginning of the year because now I don't even remember it. Well, and as part of my challenge, I guess, but I want to do something like next year too with, it's not in fitness, but like a 21-day frugal February or something, like just to see what you can do financially to get a boost as well. But that did not make the list specifically this year. So we'll see ideas for the future. Lots of ideas always. And then the last bucket was around faith to complete 2 Bible plans in my app that I use. And I did that this year as far as like the one extra focus thing actually. And I joined the pastoral council. So doing some extra things in that space that I didn't necessarily anticipate as well. So that's kind of where I'm at. Like I said, I use my word of the year light and this framework of 22 for 22 and my values around curiosity and fun, fulfillment, family and friends and fitness and faith to come up with a way that really works both for my business and personally of what's most meaningful to me and to make sure that I'm checking in and I'm going public with those around me of how I'm doing, what's working, what's not working, what I just need to get out of my head and into action or thinking about it in different ways than what we can struggle with as a business owner, as a mom, as a wife, as a individual each and every day. So I hope this gives you some ways to maybe approach your planning, your reflecting, celebrate your wins, what's working well, take that time out to do it, and understand the truth of your situation so that you can adjust it and you can do what's going to have the biggest impact for you. Have a great day. We'll be back next Tuesday. We'll be diving back into some marketing strategies and success for you. We'll see you then.